Welcome. It's your boy, Sanchi529. I'm here with a different format right now because I got a very big update for you. But first of all, I want to say welcome to the Scum and Villainy League. It's your boy, Sanchi529. We're week 3. And here, it's going to change up a little bit. And here we go. Welcome, Brian, to the show. Congratulations, Brian, as my new co-host.
Hey,
Welcome.
what is up, your boy Sanchi529?
What up, Brian Tutts? I'm so glad
Not
that we're
much.
finally be able to doing this right now. How's Arkansas life going for you?
Oh man, it's Arkansan.
I see
It's
you swore
hot.
in the Razor. Was it the Wild Hogs? What is that?
Razorbacks, the
Razorbacks.
Razorbacks. I
Not
support
the.
my boy Traylon Burks.
Is he from there?
Yeah, he played for the Razorbacks last year. He was
Dude,
good.
you know what? Last week is I played against Traylon Burks in both leagues, and I was like, geez. I was like,
Really?
yeah, both, but you guys both like benched it, like, so I was like, cool.
Well, I mean, he's getting involved, but we'll see. He's got a ways to go. He's definitely not the AJ Brown replacement right off the bench. So
That's true. Yeah, those tie-ins, huh? I guess we'll talk about them later on in a little bit, huh? Okay,
yeah.
so right now we are going to just go ahead and start off fresh, and we're going to go ahead and do our everyone's favorite section. We had a lot of questions last week. It's going to be mailbag. 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 Okay, all right. So let's go ahead. First question of the mailbag. So Brian, I'm going to ask you, why does football hurt so bad? And I'm assuming this person said they meant, why does fantasy football hurt so bad? I mean, real football is pretty bad, it's pretty painful, but I want to know why do you think fantasy football hurts us so bad?
I would say right off the bat, almost half of everybody's first picks have done nothing so far.
Uh-huh.
As the seemingly idiot that drafted Dalvin Cook in the first round, I would say decisions like that hurt over and over again.
I was reading a stat today and they were saying how the top running backs, the top 12 running backs did not make it back to being the top 12 running backs of this week.
Yeah, I don't know if it's an ongoing trend or if it's just a fluke at the moment, but wide receivers seem to be a lot more valuable this year than running backs, which is normally maybe you want to get the running backs first because they're few and far between, but it definitely seems like it's kind of switched around.
Especially with our PPR league, so wide receivers are just more valuable because, I mean, obviously we could see that with Nick's team, right? Nick's, Steven's team, yeah. Amber's team, they all got those high wide receivers, and seems like it's going good for them so far. All right. Yeah. So next question of the mailbag. Let's see. This person asked, do you think it's a little like virtual slavery to play fantasy football? We basically auction players who need them to bust their asses off to perform, or we cut them loose like they're useless. I'm gonna go ahead and start with this one. First of all, I don't think it's like slavery. We're not making them bust their ass. It's just them just working, doing their job. And also they are kind of like, what's the word? They're getting paid handsomely for this, right? So
very.
And then we cut them because they're useless. Yeah, damn straight. I have no problem with cutting someone if they're effing useless. It bothers me. What about you, Brian?
I think that's might be a little bit of a spicy take.
Mm-hmm.
No, I wouldn't quite compare it to slavery. But I could see a little bit of it because, yeah, I mean, looking at your own team and then looking every week and you're just grueling over like, oh, I need you to get out there and do something. And yeah, it definitely makes sense.
So you're saying you crack the whip virtually more than,
I may crack a virtual whip because there's a lot of players that I would love to cut and just see ya. But
I don't want to cut any of my players. I like all my players. Like, honestly, like I really have a hard time. I don't know. I like them right now. I obviously I can't score 100 points, but for some reason,
yeah, Yeah, let's do a podcast with the 2 worst teams in the league. Let's give you advice.
Wait, hon. So what place are you in? All right, so you're 10th. Who's 9th?
Yeah. I think you, man.
No, I'm 8th. I'm 100% 8th.
Oh,
Let me
one spot
see.
better.
Oh, yeah. Mike. Oh, so John. So it's me, you, and John just on the bottom, just like,
All right.
And okay, so there you go. I think that's it for the mailbag questions. Congratulations to everybody. Thank you for everybody submitting the questions. Let me see. Okay, so now we have a new section. A new thing we want to go ahead and talk about is what the fuck plays, or shaking my head plays, as we and there's a few of them this week that we saw, right? So first of all, the first WTF play, or even just matchup in general, WTF matchup for me personally would be obviously the Kevin Stevens game. You know what I mean? Like we thought Kevin, Sunday night he was out and he wasn't going to play. Like we thought he was out. Oh, he's going to go start the league. Was it 0-2 again, per usual?
Yeah.
And then what was it, Monday? Who's the one that just went ham on him? Do you know?
On the Monday game, he had Jalen Hurts, and he had the Bills defense, and I think it was just those two. And between the two of them, wow, yeah, that Bills game was just takeaway after fumble recovery, and especially allowing him 7 total points in the game. So Bills defense came up big, and Minnesota, Kirk Cousins playing in prime time, can't get it done. So I mean, gave Jalen Hurts a chance to really shine. But I mean, Eagles look good. They look like a really good team.
Yeah, I know. I mean, Jalen Hurts, when your running quarterback scores 2 touchdowns, runs them in, you're gonna have a good week, right? So I mean,
yeah.
Well, I guess it wasn't, same thing with, but then that also doesn't always work, right? Because we got Lamar Jackson. I mean, how many points did he freaking score?
Oh my gosh,
and
too many.
Jonathan still ended up losing that week. Like,
oh my gosh.
All right. So again, do you have any WTF moments for this past week, Brian?
I would say probably the Dolphins offense in general. I think Tua is not but now he's owned in the league, but between Jalen Waddle and Tyreek Hill both scoring 40 points apiece, I mean, probably won't happen all the time, but still, that was pretty crazy to see, especially after, was it a 35-14 point deficit?
Yeah, we thought the Baltimore Ravens had it, but the same thing with the Baltimore Ravens, like they start off kind of slow, like I feel like the first quarter, like the first drive is never productive. I think they did the same thing last week, or the week before. They were just not productive, and all of a sudden you just see on the screen, what he threw a 75-yard bomb, and then he also ran another 80 yards in touchdown.
I was gonna say, I think it was about an 80-yard run for a touchdown, which is crazy.
I mean, who knows? I mean, honestly, with Lamar Jackson, I think he could be the MVP, to where he could win some weeks. Obviously, he has before, but yeah, the Dolphins game. Overall, I would say that was definitely a WTF moment. You're not gonna see Tua go ahead and do 6 touchdowns every week. 400 yards, six touchdowns. That's not. I mean, if he does, then I mean, and then, but the crazy thing is that it was Amber picked him up, and then it's like she also has Josh Allen. So if Tua does do 6 touchdowns, every game, like it's just there's nothing she could do. Like who would you pick if he consistently stayed this well? Would you stay with Josh Allen, or would you stay or go with Tua?
I don't know. Both teams are dominant, and they are both heavy in the passing game. There hasn't been too much. Devin Singletary hasn't done anything. Chase Edmonds, even though they paid him a bunch to get in there, I mean, he's not really getting too much work. I mean, they've got 2 of the fastest guys in the league. So, I mean, what are you going to do? Air it out?
Yeah, honestly, I would stick with Josh Allen, because I guess you get the upside of running in the touchdowns.
Yeah, that's true.
So I guess if I had to find one, plus their defense is great, right? So if the defense just continues, like, make sure that the opposing offense is off the league, you know what I mean? But Okay, and last thing, do you want to talk about the convict Mike Evans going ahead and blindsiding Marshawn Lattimore?
That is a that is a heated rivalry.
Did you see all the prior like fights that they had?
No, I haven't seen that supercut, but I'm sure there's one floating out there.
Apparently, there's one where who Bruce Arians kind of like makes Mike Evans goes out onto the field to go fight Marshawn Lattimore or something like that. I saw a video. I don't know if it was a real video, but apparently they know like, hey, Mike Evans is gonna come. He's gonna blindside Marshawn Lattimore. I guess I mean, the funny thing is that he knew he was going to get fined. You know what I mean? Like, he knew he was going to get a suspension, like starting that fight, and then it's like, how much, again, like he's going to lose money because he's going to suspend it. Like, he knows so he's not getting paid next week, right? So, like, how much money do you think he gets paid? And he like knew he's like, it's worth it. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah, that's a big hit.
Like he essentially spent $300,000 or whatever, however much money he gets paid per game to go ahead and start a fight, and he was like, yeah, I'll do it again.
Yeah,
I'll spend another $300,000.
I'm gonna say they meet one more time this year, so I'm sure it'll happen again. But
yeah,
for whatever reason, Lattimore's got Evans' number. He doesn't produce when Lattimore's on him, so there's definitely a beef there.
Oh, I didn't even know. Is that how it is right now?
I don't know what the stats are, but historically, Mike Evans does not do as well when covered by Marshawn Lattimore. So,
all right. So last one before we get into the matchups is that I'd like to go ahead and we'll go and talk about the recaps of the names, because I mean we all know what our names, but go ahead. I want to go ahead and explain which one's my favorite, which one's my least favorite, or talk crap about any other of them. So I'm gonna go ahead and say them off. So I was what was the thing? Oh, who would you want to live? Which shoes did you want to live in, right? For a week.
Yeah.
And so the names are Tupac, we got Huge Jackman, we got Mike Trout, Drizzy Drake, Snoop Dogg, Keanu Reeves, Candace Swainpool. Am I pronouncing that right? I don't know. Jamal Williams, Asaka Tano, and Ye, formerly known as Kanye. Okay, so let's go ahead. My favorite one, I would say the most interesting one. I mean, I wouldn't say right now. I would pick Ye. I would pick Kanye. Kanye obviously is my favorite. We both know. I think that was my favorite one out of all of these. Yeah, I mean, who doesn't want to be Kanye for a week?
Current Kanye, I don't think I could deal with all the voices in that head.
Pink Polo Kanye? What about Pink Polo Kanye?
Pink Polo Kanye is tolerable. I could do that. I would love to hear those beats. Right now, I don't want to hear all the lawsuits.
Okay, then my least favorite one, I think, honestly, I was like interested about, I was like, okay, well, my least favorite one is probably the Jamal Williams, like, and you want to be someone's shoes, like you don't want to be the RB, 2 of the Detroit Lions. You know what I mean? Like how much fun are you having as a RB2 of the Detroit Lions?
I think Nick would probably enjoy that the most. He's a huge anime fan also. So what I've heard of Nick, I don't know much about Nick, but I know Nick likes anime.
We don't even know if Nick exists at this point. We haven't seen a picture of Nick. He misses John Sweaty balls. That's we don't know.
I couldn't describe Nick to you.
You could not describe. You could not point him out in the crowd. You'd be like, nope. Me neither. You wouldn't be able to see much. Like he's he doesn't have the high ground, if you know what I mean. Like. Okay. Gotcha. So what about you, Brian? So tell me which one was your favorite one of the recap names?
I'm gonna claim my least favorite on a technicality. I believe it was supposed to be a real person, so Ahsoka Tano is my least favorite. However, spiritually, not my least favorite.
Okay, yeah, I can totally see that. I mean, she did ask me. She was like, does it have to be real? And I was like, damn it, technically I did not say that, and she's not dead. So I was like, that was the only parameter I provided, was saying this person does not have to be dead. So I was like, I should have been more fictional. She did go off a technicality. And so I was like, I mean, with my name too, I was like, oh, I kind of scared to cross that line too. So I was like, I can't
in a conspiratorial world, he's still alive.
Maybe it's just husband and wife, huh? Both of us just trying,
Yeah.
Who knows?
There you go.
Okay, so which one is your favorite then?
Favorite would probably have to be Tupac.
Yeah, I know.
I mean, what are you gonna do? West Side living.
I mean, obviously, he's not being chased by any gangs anymore, right? So everyone thinks he's dead.
And in the off chance that he is not still alive, I mean, Thug's Mansion is where he resides. So,
yep, there you go.
Chilling with homies and family. You know what I'm talking about?
Okay. All right, and that's it. That's now we're going to go ahead and start with our matchups. All right. So our first matchup of the week is going to be John versus Nick. So right now, I think with this, I mean, Nick's team's pretty good, right? So
yep.
We all don't want to admit that. So we're going to go ahead and start off with, I think, honestly, I don't think Tyreek Hill and Cooper Kupp are going to be this consistent. I think there's going to be games, and even all three wide receivers they're not going to hit, right?
Yeah.
But I mean, at the same time, he has three great wide receivers. They're, but Mahomes, he didn't score as many points last week too. He went from a 44-point game to a 17-point game. I think, yeah, then the same thing with Kyle Pitts. I mean, if Kyle Pitts starts doing what he's supposed to be doing, supposed to be an elite wide receiver, I mean, he can beat everybody, like no problem with this thing. What about you, Brian?
I think, yeah, I don't know if the Tyreek Hill and Devontae Adams are gonna keep it up every week, but I think Cooper Kupp probably has the best chance at keeping it consistent. I mean, even we saw in a blowout with the Bills, he was still able to put up like 30 points because he was Stafford's favorite target. On the other side, McCaffrey, he definitely has a Baker Mayfield problem. So I mean, if that gets corrected, McCaffrey is McCaffrey. Chubb had a huge game; he could keep that up. Pittsburgh doesn't look like the defense they used to be. But yeah, I think probably the biggest question is Joe Burrow and what are the Bengals going to do? Because they're not looking very good at the moment.
Yeah, starting off 0-2, right? So they were the Super Bowl contenders last year, and all of a sudden they're 0-2. Joe Burrow seems to be on the floor a lot. He likes to get sacked a lot for some reason.
Yeah.
I don't know. Like, yeah, there's something has to happen, right? So I was reading that I guess even they spent $75 million on their O-line, Cincinnati Bengals. So yeah, so they spent $75 million, and Joe Burrow's still on his ass every week. So something's not clicking. I mean, McCaffrey, we have a Baker Mayfield problem. I agree with you on that one. Obviously, like for some reason, Baker Mayfield doesn't want to throw to his best guy, right? Like,
yeah, I was watching that game on and off, and yeah, every time, all the situations that McCaffrey thrives in when he's open in the flat, Baker thinks that he can take the ball himself and he'll try and run it. He doesn't get anywhere. Baker Mayfield seems to devalue every fantasy piece around him. This is a pretty consistent thing for him, but hopefully smarter heads will prevail and they'll figure out a situation there in Carolina.
We'll see. Yeah. All right. So good luck to both of you guys. So now the next matchup, we got Brian versus Steven. Ooh, look at this one. This one's pretty, the projections right now, we got 49 Brian, 51 to Steven. So let's go and talk about Steven's team first, and then we can end off with your team, Brian. So Steven's team still looks pretty good, right? So
yeah,
Justin Herbert, unfortunately, he is injured. We don't know the extent of the injury, even if he is going to play like he may run the ball more as opposed to not run the ball, but he probably will hand it off more, especially with that throwing arm. But I mean, even did you even see that Thursday night game? Even after the rib injury, that fool was throwing missiles, dude. Like,
oh, you may have.
Yeah, he threw a dime to the end zone, and you're just like, holy crap! And you're like, he's in pain. Like you saw the pain in him, right? Like, oh
yeah,
man.
oh yeah.
I think also with Steven's problem that he got injured, like long last minute injuries last week. So I think that's where that totally was like that messed him up real bad. The same thing. Amari Cooper looking like old Amari Cooper, huh?
Yeah.
Yeah. So the other thing is, Justice Jefferson. Yeah, what happened with that offense? You probably well aware of how the offense went on Monday, huh?
Oh yeah. Yes, yeah. I am.
Honestly, I think Steve, you know what? I think Steven's team mellowed out a little bit with week 2, but yeah, with his injuries right now, we got to see what's going to happen. But all right, so what about you, Brian? What do you think of Steven's team?
I think getting Gabe Davis back would be a huge benefit to his team. So hopefully he's healthy this week. Darren Waller is looking really good. I know the last couple years, he was highly drafted and kind of underperformed, but he has his years, and he looks like he's off to a pretty hot start. I think he's like tight end 3 or 4 right now.
Is he? Yeah,
I believe so. When
you have a QB like Derek Carr, naturally you're going to have
superstar Derek Carr, of course. Yes.
Yeah. So, and the other thing is you're pretty lucky right now because he's not playing Michael. Michael Pittman right now is on his bench, and do you know if he's coming back?
I forgot about that.
Yeah. So he has Michael Pittman on his bench, and Cam Akers. There's a couple of people on his bench right now. So, okay. So with Brian's team, Carson Wentz, huh? Look at that! Look at that quick. You dropped that Trey Lance.
Dumpster diving, man.
Dumpster diving. He's number 2. He's a number 2 QB overall.
It feels wrong.
It feels wrong.
Something doesn't add up here.
He's scoring. He's 28. He scored 28 points on your bench last week. You have to play him, right? It's him and Joe Flacco. Or you don't want to play him. You maybe want to close your eyes and put him in and just hope for the best. But so you got Keenan Allen. And George Kittle. How do you feel about them?
Man, I felt now what I thought drafting them. If they play, they have a very good chance to be good. The big question is if they play. So, I definitely got a team made of glass here. So, I'm hoping for the best.
So your favorite one is probably going to be DeAndre Swift right now. Is that your rock, your anchor right now? Is DeAndre Swift?
Yes, he's my bread and butter.
I told you, man.
Surprisingly, the Lions offense looks really good. They upgraded their O-line. They've got like a top 3 rated offensive line, definitely giving Jared Goff time to do what Jared Goff can. And he's got really good wide receivers on the outside too. So Amon-Ra St. Brown, great.
Yeah,
probably a top 5 talent in the league, which is surprising. But
the funny thing, it's like, you have to think about it. Like, we don't want to put a lot of credit to Jared Goff, but when he has players like DeAndre Swift who's scoring like 2 touchdowns, Jamal Williams 2 touchdowns the week before, Amon-Ra St. Brown's catching everything, he's scorching everybody under. Like, those touchdowns have to come from a quarterback, and if this quarterback, like, he could come back this year. I would think about even picking him up if Russell Wilson is continue being like this. Like, I think Jared Goff could be a good plug and play right now.
Yeah, he's been to the Super Bowl with the Rams. He took them there, so
maybe it's just maybe it's just a Super Bowl thing, because Jared Goff took them to the Super Bowl, then he sucked, and look at Joe Burrow, took them to the Super Bowl, and now he sucked too, huh? So let's see. All right, so our third matchup of the week is going to be Ray versus Kevin. Okay. So we're gonna go ahead and start with let's start with Ray. Right now, she's projected 41% to Kevin's 59%. Kevin claims he doesn't listen to the podcast. So, he says, I don't listen to anything you say. But then, come tomorrow, if I don't drop the podcast, guess who's going to freak out the most, huh? It's going to be like, where's the power ranking? It's like, oh, yeah. Oh, snaps. Okay, so we're going to have to start this a little faster. So we got Amber's team. We got, She has Freiermuth, pretty good. Kyler Murray, he still needs to do good. I don't know, like he hasn't done anything. With Aaron, and plus the Aaron Jones, didn't she have a late night win too with Aaron Jones? What did she projected to lose, right?
Yeah, it was going to be a close one, and then Aaron Jones came through with a 32-point game. I mean,
jeez.
I don't know if it's just an Aaron Jones thing or if you want to start your running backs against Chicago, but they were just bleeding points on the ground. So,
jeez. Okay,
yeah.
and then the other thing is that Michael Thomas still looks pretty good, right?
Surprisingly, I mean, he's coming back from that injury and returning to form, I guess.
Even with a broken back Winston, right? Apparently,
he
had like 3 broken bones or something.
Pretty good. Four fractured vertebrae. I don't know, not vertebrae, but some like 4 fractures in his back.
Jeez.
I guess vertebrae in your back, but I don't know the technical term for it. So
yeah, I mean, with her lineup, I mean, you have Aaron Jones, Travis Kelce. I mean, and if Michael Thomas continues to be like this, then those are going to be your top favorite people. The people she's worried about is, again, Chase Claypool. Like you can't trust anybody beyond Najee Harris and Deontay Johnson on that offense. I mean, she has Freiermuth also. Again, I mean, did he score a touchdown last week? I don't know, but
I know he was up there. I think he got 13 or 14 points, something like that. So I'm sure that it might have included a touchdown. Either not, he's a safety valve for Mitch Trubisky, who does not look very good at all. So I would expect a switch at some point to Kenny Pickett.
Pickens? Yeah, one of those.
Pickett.
Yeah,
George Pickens, the receiver, and Kenny Pickett, the small-handed quarterback.
Okay, so now we're on to Kevin's team. So I mean, we already discussed about his quarterback, right? Jalen Hurts, phenomenal, great. Tyler Lockett looks pretty good, surprisingly. Like somehow he scored 15 points. I didn't even notice that until post game. I was like, I didn't even know that he scored 15 points. But I mean, Leonard Fournette's pretty good. I mean, he got lucky with the Allen Robinson, right? And obviously with that Buffalo defense, totally reeled it in for him. The one thing I would say I have to worry about with Brian's team, Kevin's team. As again, I still think Allen Robinson, he didn't get that many targets. He saved his week with the touchdown, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then, with T. Higgins, the whole offense right now is just kind of is shoddy right now. So, what about you, Brian? What do you think about his team?
I think, it looks pretty good. Especially, he definitely has the opportunity to have big blow up games from a couple of his players. So that could definitely win him a week with like Mark Andrews, Jalen Hurts for sure. Then the rest seem, pretty consistent. James Robinson is still getting work. Travis Etienne hasn't been too involved, and they're still going to the well, I guess, and James Robinson. And I would probably be most worried about Leonard Fournette, to be honest. Between Leonard Fournette and Allen Robinson, just the Bucks in general don't look great. Again, in the same game that the Bears gave up a bunch of ground yards, so did Green Bay. I think David Montgomery had like 132 rushing yards or something like that. So Fournette definitely has an opportunity there. But those are 2 pretty tough teams, and it might be a low-scoring affair. But and then Robinson, we'll see what happens with him. But yeah, so far the narrative have not panned out.
No,
of him being the Van Jefferson or Odell Beckham coming in.
Yeah, we don't know. Yeah, definitely. The one thing about the Tampa Bay and the Green Bay game I just want is like I'm not really looking forward to it. Like you would think like a Tom Brady and Aaron Rodgers game, you would be like, oh yeah, but they're both kind of, they're not throwing the ball really well. You're not seeing I don't think there's gonna be a shootout. Yeah, I totally agree. Like I think they'll run.
Mike Evans is gone in Tampa Bay for the week. They don't really have a receiving core at the moment. Julio Jones is injured too. Who did they just signed Cole Beasley. So
Cole Beasley, yeah.
they're reaching at the moment. And then Green Bay hasn't really established. We'll see if Alan Lazard gets in there and actually starts getting targets from Aaron Rodgers. But they're trying the Christian Watson thing, and not really getting much out of him at the moment. I know he had that big drop, and then there's a pretty bad fumble where he ran right in front of or right behind the center when they snapped the ball. So
oh yeah,
I would imagine he's probably on the A-Rod's shit list, but
he's in the doghouse this week.
Oh yeah.
Let me see. Okay, so now we got our next matchup right now is going to be Amber versus Frawhiger, huh? Okay, so we got the first place team going against the sixth place team. Amber Sanchez is projected 53-47, which is not, I mean, that doesn't seem that bad. Doesn't seem that much of a, especially with Amber's team. I mean, she has like 4 players scoring like 40 points a week, so let's go ahead and talk about Amber Sanchez's team first. I mean, Josh Allen, right? Like, what bad thing can you say about Josh Allen? He's still being the same. St. Brown, the same. Jalen Waddle, the same. That even those 3 right there. I mean, she's gonna score almost 100 points with those 3 people.
Yeah. My gosh.
The interesting thing is, I mean, I still think. I mean, it's weird about Jonathan Taylor, right? Being the number one draft pick, and he's not doing good. What do you think about that Colts team?
Not much, man. They look bad with a capital bad. Yeah, I mean, Jonathan Taylor should do good. He's a talented player. I mean, even with Michael Pittman, I think having Pittman out probably hurt the offense a little bit. I wouldn't be too worried, but I mean, Kansas City has a pretty tough defense. You saw what they did to the Chargers. I mean, that was a pretty close one. I mean, with the exception of the pick 6, I mean, that was a pretty competitive game, and it would have been probably like a lot closer than it kind of ended up being in the box score. So,
well, yeah, I mean, it's the weird thing is that what these NFL teams are doing right now is you need to either have a good defense or a good offense, and for some reason with Buffalo Bills and the Kansas City Chiefs, they're like, oh, we're just gonna have both. Like, we're just gonna have really good defense and we're gonna have a really good offense, and we're just gonna screw you over on both sides of the ball. And it's just like you're throwing off projections, man. Like, you need to be either one or the other. Like Kansas City, for some reason they're like they want to go ham on offense, and then for some reason do the same thing on defense. So I think Jonathan Taylor will come back. I mean, it's a matter of time, right? It's a matter of time.
I think so.
The other thing the other thing is, Javonte Williams. I mean, what is up with that Broncos offense, huh? Did you watch that game?
Yeah, I would say same. No. And from all the little things that I've heard about it, I'm probably better for it. So.
Oh man, it was a bad game. It was hard to watch. It was really hard to watch. I think Russell Wilson will eventually get it there, but I don't know. This week against San Francisco is going to be another hard one, right? So.
Yeah.
Anyways, the only thing, again, the same thing. Jonathan Taylor needs to do better, and Clyde Edwards-Helaire. I think for some reason there's too many people in that backfield, right? It's just you just can't be confident enough right now.
They're definitely doing the committee approach, but Colts defense isn't really scary. Plus, I think the majority of the big plays are going to Clyde. Jerick McKinnon looks pretty good though.
Yeah, he does.
In compliment to him, I guess. I wouldn't be interested in him in fantasy, but just in general, as far as the team goes. But I mean, Clyde's putting up points, so he's definitely a good flex spot.
What do you think about that Cleveland defense though right now, without Myles Garrett and without who was the other one?
Jadeveon Clowney.
Yeah, both of them. Yeah. Jadeveon Clowney's not playing this week for sure, and Myles Garrett may not play this week.
I mean, Pittsburgh really doesn't look that scary, but I don't know what's actually available right now, so I can't make a suggestion. But I think they should do all right. You should get you standard defense points, but I wouldn't expect anything outstanding. But I mean, Pittsburgh doesn't look like they can pass, whereas when they just lost to the Jets on Sunday, it was a very heavy passing team. So
that's for sure. Okay, so we're gonna go ahead and start off with Amber Frohager's team now. So she looks like she benched Tom Brady, huh? Like right now on her.
I would.
You would bench Tom Brady? I mean, yeah, that's true. Yeah, with no passing offense, and she's going with the nation, huh? She's having faith in the nation. I mean, you should always have faith in the nation. They're always gonna let you down like the last 2 damn weeks, anyways. I mean, and yeah, look, and now she's playing Drake London, huh? So she's gonna have two Atlanta players, like, so that's pretty ballsy right now. But I mean, Drake London looks good. Cordell Patterson should do better this week. I mean, she's playing Jeff Wilson. I mean, he's gonna have more opportunities now. Let's see with her. I mean, Mike Williams did good. Oh yeah, her team's pretty solid. I mean, especially she almost won last week against Nick. Did you see that? It was Stephon Diggs, caught 3 touchdowns.
3-touchdown game. Was it some 44 points or something like that?
Yeah. Like Nick looked like he was blowing her out of the water, and then the last minute, Stephon Diggs throws 3 touchdowns, and she was 8 points within beating him. So she could have won that week, honestly. Like, if you would have just taken away one of Tyreek's touchdowns, she would have won. She would have won that week. She would have been 2-0 right now, along with Amber. But yeah, I think she'll bounce back. I think right now, I can't say anything bad about her. It's pretty solid.
Yeah, I would say the only thing is trusting in Derek Carr. That can it could be decent probably half the time, but I mean, other than that, I mean, there's a lot of big play opportunity. If Keenan Allen is out again for another week, Mike Williams, I mean, he's the next guy up, and he'll obviously, you saw him against Kansas City, against that tough defense. Jacksonville, not as strong a defense, so he definitely has a lot of opportunity there, a lot of upside. And Drake London's looking good. He's definitely looking like a top 10 wide receiver rookie pick. So,
well, I guess the biggest problem is that everybody's upset because Kyle Pitts not getting anything, right? He's not getting no touchdowns. He hasn't gotten touchdowns since like week 6 last year, and that was his only touchdown. Remember? They were just saying like, well, maybe Kyle Pitts is not getting those matchups because Drake London is the dude, right? Like, hey, if Drake London is just a better player overall, I think Drake London is a rookie, but I think he is actually older than Kyle Pitts. Did you know that?
Really?
Yeah. So Kyle Pitts, he started off he came into the NFL 20 years old. So last year when he came into the league 20 years old, and I think he's still younger than Drake London as the rookie.
Oh my gosh.
The other thing, we got to hope for Jerry Jeudy. Maybe if Jerry Jeudy, she's benching Jerry Jeudy and Elliott, huh? How do you feel about
that? I mean, Elliott's usage has gone way down. I don't see him making a comeback. Honestly, without Dak Prescott in there and using Cooper Rush, I think the game plan will probably be more like dump off passes, where Tony Pollard seems to excel at that. But I mean, it's probably better to put him on your bench and wait, but it's hard to drop a name like that because I mean, Zeke is Zeke. I mean, he's got that workhorse blood, but
it feels wrong for right now. But you have to, right? You have to look forward. Okay, so last matchup of the week is going to be Sanchi, your boy Sanchi 529 against my little brother Jonathan. So right now, hey, I'll let you start off, Brian. I want you to talk. Go ahead.
Okay. So the first thing that I notice on here is that Breece Hall seems to be out of the lineup, and honestly, that's probably the best decision you could make. He's junk. He's second on a team that likes to throw. No, Russell Wilson obviously has some issues, and against San Francisco, even though he's seen them multiple times in his career, it still is probably going to be a hard matchup, especially if Jerry Jeudy's out. You're down a weapon. Well, down 2 weapons, really, because they're not even getting Tim Patrick this year. So KJ Hamler might have an opportunity there. Debo on the opposite side of the ball. We've yet to see him do Debo things, but he's got Jimmy G back, so they might be back into the groove that they were in last year. Same coaches and all that too. So Eckler probably is a good play. Yeah, I know you're feeling it too with the first round Blues, but man, yeah, it's rough out there in the streets. And then James Conner, if he can get healthy against the Rams, I mean, that should be another good matchup. The Rams defense, you can't really tell. I mean, it's only 2 games, so it's hard to tell in any of these teams. But I mean, they played the Bills in week 1. I can't remember who they played last week, but James Conner should be good. Evan Ingram, he's getting there. He's getting his targets. And then Curtis Samuel, probably potential league winner.
Right? I mean,
but
I don't want to put faith in Curtis Samuel, but it's just like he's the guy that scores the most points on my team. Like, I have to have him in. Like, I don't want him in, but I have to have him in. Like, I would much rather. Yeah.
It's gross, but like, I mean, between him, Terry McLaurin, and Jahan Dotson, I mean, they might have a pretty dangerous offense there. And it could be something that you see in Miami. I don't know. Carson Wentz and Tua might be kind of on the same playing field there. Not great, but when you give them enough good weapons, I mean, who knows who's going to have the good week? It could be all of them. It could be one. But yeah, he could be like last year's Jalen Waddle. Somebody grab off the waiver wire and let him go throughout the season.
Yeah, I can't say anything about my team. I'm just upset overall, so I'm just not even going to talk about them. So maybe I'll score over 100 points this week. How about that? All right, so we got Jonathan's team up next, huh? So we got Lamar Jackson being Lamar Jackson, right? Yeah, I mean, the thing again, Jonathan's team it looks good on paper, right? So it looks good on paper, and he does have good playmakers, but again, like, you get Derrick Henry's not doing well, right? Kamara's like, in and out. Marquise Brown, the whole Arizona offense right now just doesn't look like they're doing anything well on
the
that
whole
side
Arizona
of the ball.
team.
Yeah.
No.
Like, yeah, even their secondary, I think, is their defense secondary is even doing bad, right? So but I mean, he still scores a lot of points. Like, his team scores a lot of points. I think honestly, if I had to pick somebody who would be a game maker would be Goddard. I think Goddard could become a tight end 3 this year.
Yeah. I would say, yeah, probably between Goddard and Barkley, definitely have the biggest chances of being a difference maker on his team. I mean, Barkley, if he could return to form, I mean, we've seen what he's done. Daniel Jones is like a Eli Manning light, so he may be in line to repeat what he did. What was that, his rookie year, I believe?
Yeah. That's the only year.
But he's up to a good start. And then Goddard, I mean, yeah, he's getting in passes and stuff like that. So getting more involved in the offense. It looks like a really good offense. Between him and AJ Brown, I mean, that should be good points against a Washington team that isn't really scary on defense. So
would you want, if you could redo his RB or his draft pick 1, right? So you guys, Derrick Henry, would you want him or Austin Eckler right now?
Right now, probably Austin Eckler, because they look like a better offense. But yeah, Tennessee, they just potentially lost a left tackle, Taylor Lewan, which is a huge part. So I mean, if they're getting Derrick Henry stopped in the backfield, if he doesn't have that steam to go ahead, I mean, it's just going to be handing the ball off, getting 2 yards, 1 yard, 3 yards, which could end up, if he doesn't get in the end zone, it could be a bad week. But like most of the first round running backs, I mean, he's definitely in the woes category right now too.
There we go. The woe categories. Okay, so, and all right, so we finished up all the matchups. So, all right, Brian, so I want to ask you, which matchup of the week is going to be the biggest game?
biggest game, I'm not sure, but I think the most interesting to me is going to be Nick versus John. The reason being is that, I mean, we've seen Nick's team looks dominant. He's got a lot of the big names, which are more likely to hit. However, if they don't, I think on John's team, what we saw from Nick Chubb last week, huge. They're giving him a lot of the workload. CD Lamb, maybe if we can get him, Dallas could get him involved a little bit. I'm not sure it's going to happen, but it could. And then if McCaffrey gets that figured out with Joe Burrow, I mean, I think he has big play potential on his end. Gerald Everett is soaking up the targets over there in LA too. So I don't know. Yeah, I think, and it also has the biggest points differential too. So it would be a big leap, but I think it'd be the most interesting just to see what can happen there.
All right, so you see the path for John to win this week, huh? I
could see it
against the juggernaut Nick.
Yeah,
I could see that too. I could see. I'm gonna say I still think Nick's gonna go 3-0 right now. Nick is gonna go 3-0 this week, and we're gonna be all scared.
I think it's highly likely, but I like to root for the underdog.
All right, so now, okay, we got 2 more segments before we're almost done with this. So first one is we're gonna make it a little fast, right? So we got theme of the week, which is what everybody's waiting for, huh? Okay, so
yeah, let's hear it.
This one's a little let's see, intuitive, so we're gonna have to go more right intuitive side. Okay, so I'm gonna ask you, Brian, I want to know who's someone either famous, and not even, or it doesn't have to be famous, it has to be a real person, right? Not a fake
so
person.
Can't be Ahsoka.
I guess they could be dead. They could be dead. I don't see why not. But who's someone that or a famous person that you knew that you did not trust and or like, but everybody else did like, and you feel vindicated when they finally showed their true colors?
Okay.
All right. So I mean, everybody has them. You have to think about it. So again, like, who's someone that you had like, oh, I hated that actor, I always knew they were crap. For me, it'd be like, I don't know, I'm just saying, like, Denzel Washington. Like, everybody loves the damn guy, but for some reason I never liked any of his damn movies.
Really? Denzel, huh?
Yeah, see, that's what I'm saying. I didn't like him. I was just like, nah, he's crap, I don't care, kind of thing. But so that's the one. You can have repeats. Repeats are fine with this one. I don't think anybody's going to repeat though. But again, real person. Okay, for people that don't understand, I'll have to make more parameters on that one. Okay,
gotcha.
Okay, and now what everybody's been waiting for, huh? Power rankings. Huh?
Let's do it.
Okay, so my power rankings. The first one, we're gonna go ahead and it's gonna be on repeat. Right now, with the first 4 weeks, it's really, with the first 4 weeks, you have to just see the power rankings for what they are. There's not much insight because there's not enough data, right? Right now, it's obviously going to be Amber. Like, again, Amber's team looks great. There's nothing. There's no holes in her team, especially with her team. I think it's just more consistent. I think all her team is going to be more consistent as opposed to other people's teams. Okay, the second one, I think Steven's going to go ahead and have a good week this week. I think his team did good last week. Again, if those injuries could stop hurting him, I think he has a pathway to go ahead and get be number 2 for the week. Number 3 is obviously going to be that juggernaut, huh? Nick, the anime lover, huh? I mean, can't say anything bad about his team. It's just it just looks scary at this point. But again, at some point, at some point, the only reason why he's not number 1 is because the wide receivers can't consistently score 30 points every week, right? So there's gonna
so you think.
Yeah, but I could be wrong, right?
Yeah.
Number 4 is going to be Jonathan. I think Jonathan does have the upside. I think he has a lot of good depth in this team, and right now I don't see myself, I don't see my team hitting that well compared to Jonathan's team. Who knows? It could be a close one on that one. And then number 5, we got our golden boy, huh? Who's our golden boy? Kevin. So
could it be any other way?
It's pretty middle of the tier right now. Honestly, if things were different, I would put him up higher. Actually, I would put him higher than 5 at this moment. But so we're gonna go ahead and I think number 6 is going to be Frawhiger. I think your team's good, but again, it's just when you go against Amber's team, it doesn't look, it's not fair, right? Next one's going to be you, Brian. Nothing against you. I think
1.5 thumbs.
1.5 thumbs up, huh? Next one's going to be Ray. I don't think Ray's going to pull it off against Kevin. I think, I think Kevin's team looks good, so I think Ray is going to go at number 8. I think I'm going to go ahead and take the big L in terms of number 9. So myself, your boy Sanchi 529, the Brees Hall and Company is going to go ahead and take that 9th spot. And number 10 is going to be John. So again, you put him as number, like, could potentially beat Nick, but I just think it's going to be a beatdown against Nick.
I think it'll be hard, but I could see a path. It's a hard fought path, but it's there.
All right. And that's it. There we have it. We're at the end of the show now.
All right. Well, thanks for having me. This has been a blast.
All right, good. I guess we'll hopefully do this again next week. Maybe we can add more people. Maybe we can have more guest stars. Maybe.
Hey.
Right, and then all right. Well, everyone, thank you again for watching. Don't forget to smash that like button, comment, and subscribe. Not all you guys are subscribing. I can see who's subscribing. So I can see it. All right, and then don't forget submit your mailbag questions next week at noon on Wednesdays, and then don't forget next week. We'll go ahead and drop again the next week's power rankings. All right. And everyone, good luck.
Deuces.
Okay, that's it. That's all I got.
Action shot. You can suck a peanut butter cup through a golf straw or whatever.